solution to life's no fun. All I really gotta do is live and die, but I'm in a hurry and don't know why.
When it comes to working in a bounty hunting team and the skills and who's in it, here it is, and it doesn't get much simpler than this. The question that you yourself as a bounty hunter are going to ask yourself is, would I go through a door with this person? And what I mean by that is, when we go through that door and something happens, is my backup going to freeze, going to run? Is he going to do something that's going to get me in trouble legally? Is he going to do something that's going to get me in trouble criminally? I need to know that my partner has my back. I need to know that my partner, when things go down, is going to do what it needs, what he or she needs to do to make sure that we all go home safe so we can get paid. So the question, generally speaking, who are my partners? Because I do so much street training and I bring so many new people into the business, it depends on the case. For example, let's say I'm going after somebody who jumped bail and driving on a suspended license. I can get some trainees, we can go out and go pick that person up. But if I'm going after somebody who's a third striker, looking at 25 to life, who has a propensity for violence, evasion, then I'm going to call on the veterans. I'm going to call on people I know are going to help me go after this person to the extent that when we grab him, it's going to be done within all the confines of all applicable laws having to do with bounty hunting, with specifics on private bail contract enforcement, because bail is a private civil contract. Therefore, we are private citizens enforcing a private contract. With respect to who employs me, I'm not employed by anybody to the extent that I'm self-employed. I am licensed by the state of California as a licensed bail agent, and a bail agent gets people out of jail. I am licensed by the state of California as a licensed private investigator. I run a bail bond company. I have permits from the California Department of Consumer Affairs, open carry permit, baton, gas card. I do private investigations for people ranging from child abduction, non-custodial parent abduction, do workman's comp, insurance fraud, etc., etc. I run across people all the time who say, hey, I want to be a bounty hunter, but I don't want to travel for a class, or I don't want to work too hard. If you're going to be successful as a bounty hunter, as an investigator, you have to have stick-to-itiveness, you have to have perseverance, tenacity, you have to have that never give up attitude. You got to be a self-starter. You got to wake up every day and say, what can I do different? You have to be bold, inventive, innovative. You got to go out and you got to think, and you're going to have to think exactly as your quarry thinks, and that would be bail jumpers. You're going to have to think just like the people who are claiming they have a back injury, yet you can videotape them jet skiing. The situation is this. When it comes to bounty hunting or investigations, you have to be able to adapt, improvise. You're going to have to look at things and say, what am I missing here? And then you can't get anywhere unless you wear out your shoe leather. You can't sit at a computer, hitting the keyboard, doing internet searches. You're going to have to get out there and talk to people. You're going to have to get real-time human intelligence. It's going to cost money. These things are not easy. Bounty hunting, investigations, the whole thing is not for everyone. If you're going to be looking for non-custodial parents, you're going to have to hunt them down just like you would any other fugitive. Okay, the way that it works for a bounty hunter to get paid is, let's say you hire me, I go out, I track, I apprehend, I book your guy, I get him in jail, and it is typically, and this is standard, 10% of the penal amount of the bond. So in other words, if somebody jumps bail on you for $50,000, you're going to pay me $5,000 to bring him back. So if it's $100,000, I make $10,000. If it's $3,000, $300. Now, in my experience, it's the $3,000 bonds that cost the most for me to close. In other words, I front all the expenses, gas, travel expenses, court costs, everything to close these cases. So I have to be smart in business to the extent that, will this case cost me more to close than the money I'm going to make? Now here's the rub. Here's the problem. I may have to take that case to prove myself. Now, fortunately for me, I've been in the business long enough where I don't have to do that anymore. When it comes to parents who run off with their kids, you know, if I were a non-custodial parent and I wanted to run off with my kids, where would I go? How would I do it? How would I mask ourselves? How would I cover up that paper trail? There is no such thing as a checklist when it comes to bounty hunting or investigations. You have to go on a case-by-case basis. Every case is 100% unique. No two cases are alike. What works is we never know how many cases we're going to get a week, a year, or a month. My maximum caseload is 24 what I call capers at any one time. What that means is I do not take on more than 24 cases at one time. The reason being is most of these capers that come in, they're finite, they're time sensitive. What that means is a bail agent will sit on a case for 5 months to a year, and then all of a sudden it's emergency. I have to drop everything that I'm doing, and I only have a week or two to work some of these capers, which means if I have 24, I don't have time for surveillance. I have to work fast. The way that I work these cases is I rule out, I deny, I rule out, I deny, I chase, I harry. I do not give these bail jumpers a chance to wait. Now, because of this, I could be working 5 cases at one time. I could be working 1 case a month. I also get these cases taken care of, adjudicated if you will, in court. I stand up in court on legal papers that I've drafted, and I argue against trained attorneys in front of a judge, and I get these cases off like that as well. So I will either catch a bail jumper, force him to self-surrender, get it off in court. One way or the other, that case is getting closed. My case closure rate since 2000 has been 100%. I have not missed. I find bounty hunting work largely by people contacting me. I've been in the business long enough where my reputation in the bail bond community precedes me to the extent that people say, hey, who do you use for bounty hunting? What I mean by people are, let's say I'm a bail bondsman and I'm at a courthouse or continuing education and I run into another bondsman, I'll say, hey, how's it going? Who do you use for bounty hunting? And then that person will tell me, that person then will call, or I will then call the bounty hunter referred to by the other bail agent. It's largely word of mouth. It has a lot to do with reputation. Now, here's the problem. If you don't have experience bounty hunting, you're going to have a hard time finding bounty hunting work because nobody's going to trust you. You have to have a track record bounty hunting. You have to show that you can get it done. And you have to show that you can get it done without getting your employer sued. When it comes to high-risk, dangerous work, I'm going to have to say that the most challenging are the people that are looking at 25 to life, and we call those third strikers. In California, the situation is this. Habitual offenders, people with multiple felonies, and it could be something very simple that you'd ordinarily not really do any time for. If you get busted, you're looking at doing 25 to life. Now, the average stay in prison for murder, let's say a person kills somebody, they're convicted of murder, is 7 years. 7 years is the average stay in prison for murder, provided they don't get in trouble while they're in custody. A person looking at 25 to life will have absolutely, positively nothing to lose by killing a bounty hunter who's trying to pick them up, get them back into court, and from there, straight back to prison. So when I'm going fence over fence over fence, or I'm going through what we call the vertical coffin, which is a doorway, I never know what's on the other side. Anytime I cross a doorway, anytime I go over a fence, I can be shot, killed, maimed. In my personal opinion, after years and years and years of bounty hunting and doing investigations, going over the fence, going through the door, that is the absolute most dangerous, difficult part of the job. One of the things that I have a problem with when it comes to bounty hunting and investigations is you're self-employed. Income is up, income is down, your hours are sometimes unpredictable. Bail jumpers, unfortunately, will not make things convenient for you. When it comes to private investigations, whether it be workman's comp, insurance fraud, hunting down non-custodial parents who have run off with their kids, everything is minute by minute. No 2 days are alike. And what makes it difficult for some people who have to have a routine and a steady paycheck, this is not the work for you, because your pay is going to go up, it's going to go down, you're going to make money, you're going to be broke, you're going to be on the road, you're going to be away from family, and forget about a steady sleep structure. Your hours are going to be all over the place. And because your hours are all over the place, you're going to be getting sick, you're going to be worn down, you might be a little agitated. This is life on the road. If you're good, you can get part of your work done on the internet through database search engines, but by and large, it is getting out there. That is a difficult part. In bail bonds, we do a lot of what's called underwriting, and on the underwriting side, we work with brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers, grandparents, girlfriends, boyfriends, So in terms of working with non-custodial parents, we do that on the bail bond side. Now, here's the interesting part is, on the private investigation side, when I'm doing work for attorneys, particularly attorneys who do family law, spend a lot of time working with custodial parents, non-custodial parents. I have, in fact, as a part of my private investigations work, been hired by custodial parents to track down the children who were essentially abducted by the non-custodial parents. So I do have background in that area as well. People who miss court, and then when you call them and they don't want to come back to court, so now you have to put a team together and go after them. Their charges range from driving on a suspended license to murder, manslaughter, robbery, rape, child molestation, you name it. If somebody could be bailed out for it, they jumped. I bailed out doctors, lawyers, police officers. It doesn't matter. Anybody can be thrown in jail at any time. Nobody is immune. As far as the type of people on average, these are people who jump bail largely because they don't want to go to jail or prison. Sometimes because they're the breadwinner in the family. Other times they're career criminals. We just never know, which brings us back to the other point. We never know what's going to happen when we knock on a door. So the type of people that we go after can be as simple as driving a suspended license or murder. I don't remember ever sitting in group in kindergarten or in school or at the career center and say, hey, when I grow up, I want to be a bounty hunter. You know, I want to be a bondsman. I want to get people out of jail. I want to chase people. No, those were never any of my considerations.
It's dark and hell is hot. Dirt getting tossed in your grave. Now it's all over. Preacher said you was brave.
Ain't no sunshine when it's on.